amongst us, and we have new people that have joined. So feel welcome. We are glad to have you among us. Our goal here in the Tea Party, and of course with Virginia Freedom Caucus as our partner, we just want common sense government. And it doesn't always come in the form of an R, and it certainly doesn't come always in the form of a D. I will say the last Blue Dog Democrat in Virginia was Johnny Joanna, God rest his soul, from Portsmouth. He was the best liaison between the Democrats and the Republicans in our General Assembly. And he was a great loss to not have him still in the General Assembly. He really was continuity between Republican and Democrat. So that said, I want to take a minute and acknowledge people that have brought food to our meetings ever. Not just this meeting, but any meeting. If you have brought food to share with people, could you please stand up? Anybody that brought some food anytime, this time, last time, Mr. Wall, you want to stand? Yeah. Yeah. So I just want you to acknowledge and see these folks that they bring this, they do it on their own. They do it at their own expense. And it is a blessing to have them. And I am grateful that you did that. So just FYI, all of you are awesome. Thank you. I was hungry when I got here. I was a little hungry. But Buddy brought the barbecue tonight. And I'm going to tell you right now, I had to. Made it, brought it, decorated it, and set it on your plate. Yes, he did. Last month he did hot dogs. So I was hungry then too. You get to run it all day, and I know you guys do it too. You're working all day, you're beating your kids. I mean, there's a lot of things to be done during the day. I don't eat, man. I forget to eat. There's been a couple of times I've gone over to Buddy's house, man, can you notarize my stuff? And I'm like, what's in the fridge? While you're doing paperwork, let me raise the fridge like I'm at home. Yeah, let me break that out. So I just want you to know that if you go by Buddy's house and you need to get your documents notarized, you can raise the refrigerator. There's good stuff in there. There is. So that's mine. Sometimes it's medicinal. So we do, the air conditioner is on, I want you to know, but it's cooler in the hallway, so I have those doors propped open. At any rate, so what I want this meeting to be about tonight is fellowshipping. I mean, how often do you go to these kind of meetings and actually get to have fun and you work on something and it's positive? And it's just amazing to be around people that are positive and they are wanting to do something right for their city and for their country. And they're not making it about themselves. They're actually making it about the cause. So the people that you see in this room tonight are about the cause and not themselves. That's what I want you to know. You are all selfless and you're here for the right reasons. And the people that aren't here, some of them are sick. So Judy Payton is awesome and she's not well. So she gets a big, huge hall pass from me. But there are people that claim to be supportive of what you're doing, but all they end up doing is creating dissension and negativity. And, you know, if they're not the center of attention, then they're not about whatever you're doing. So I just want to applaud all of you. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. Thank you for being selfless and being about the mission and not yourself. So I just want to say that. The other thing is our Garden Tea Party. Yes, it is. It is this Sunday. If you haven't gotten tickets, you are in so much trouble. Teresa is going to get you. If you have been working on the Garden Tea Party, would you please stand? Stay standing, Diana. Buddy, your feet need to rise. People need to recognize you. Got Maureen, Teresa, Doug, Trina, Buddy, Gus. And Sharon, you've been working on the garden tea party, haven't you? Yeah, okay, I'm just making sure you weren't just running in. Yeah, Paul has been doing it. Oh, Jimmy Paceras. Look, let me tell you, these folks put some blood, sweat, and tears into that garden tea party. And for the few years that I've gone to it, last year was my first year back as the chair. This will be the next year. Elizabeth Schultz is our guest speaker, and she is fresh off the press from the Governor Youngkin's administration. But I just want you to acknowledge those people and the effort. So when you show up on Sunday, you're going to see what these people have done. And it is awesome. It is a fun time. It's great for everybody. We don't make it like overly political. It's not like that. This is another opportunity. It's our biggest fundraiser for the Tea Party. And the people that will be there in attendance are the salt of the earth. They're the people that really support our mission and really want to, again, be a part of something that's bigger than themselves. And so I just want to acknowledge that those folks have done so much work to help that mission for the Garden Tea Party. All right. What?
So, everybody talking about and she worked hard.
You can talk about what y'all. I was like, who did I miss? Thank you. Thank you. I take lots of hits and I'm glad to take them because I know it's for the right reason. It's for the right reason. This is something that this meal tax is affecting every kind of business. So I actually went into a surf rider today. And they have multiple surf riders, but I went into one in particular. And I said, hey, I talked to the manager, the owner wasn't there. I said, hey, tell me, how's this affecting you? She said, it's been really, really slow. She goes, I don't know if it's just the meal tax or other economic issues, but it's been really slow. And I went into multiple businesses today in that particular area that I was in Virginia Beach, and it was dead. I mean, we're talking lunchtime. I mean, I've been schlepping around all day. I haven't been, well, I'll just hang out until it's time for the Tea Party meeting. No. Oh, heck yeah, I did. I'm looking for partners. I want these businesses to know that there's somebody out here helping them, somebody out here that cares about them. And if you watch my Facebook page, you watch the Tea Party Facebook page, you watch Virginia Freedom Caucus Facebook page, I put those videos on there. And yesterday, which I forgot to tell Buddy at dinner last night. So it was, it was really cool. Holly was there last night. I was there. Pilar was there. Buddy was there. So we all met. Well, we didn't know Holly was going to be there, but she ended up being there. And we just worked that Why Not Wednesday. Yeah. I'm getting there. But we were at Why Not Wednesday. And it was beautiful till it wasn't. And then we got the deluge of rain and we just kept going. Everybody went inside the Sandler Center. And I'm going to tell you, they were machines. I have been working the crowd outside pretty good. So when I got inside, I was like, well, I see Pilar's working there. I see Buddy's over here. Holly's like, she's like this little hobbit person. And she's like, I'm supposed to tell you about this. You're doing this. I was like, I don't have to go over to those people. And it was really cool. It was such for somebody to just kind of sit back and watch your team just do it. It was awesome. And I just thank all of you for being there last night and going. So I want to make this about some of your experiences when you're out there and you're talking to businesses or you're talking to people and signing. What's happening? What is it to you? So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna share my funny story about last night that I totally forgot to tell him and Pilar last night. We went to dinner in the pouring down rain we're running through town center and we go to this place called Quirks. And we talked to the manager, Lauren, there. Boy, she was like, I'll sign it. Give me that thing. And she took it back in the kitchen and she had people sign it. She was taking us with her. Go get this, sign here. These people are doing whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she had everybody in that restaurant signing our petition. It was like we were at, Why Not Wednesday? We were actually at Quirks. So they were great. And I really want to, when I am out and I do these videos, it's not so, this is Waverly's time to be on Facebook. Look, I'm on Facebook. Okay. If you've seen my page, you've seen me riding horses all day long. That's really what I want to be known for. Hey, I ride horses. See ya. I'm in the middle of Nowhereville. But it's important. It's so important that we are helping our community in more ways than one. These restaurants are struggling. And that's something else I want to talk about too. We've helped promote a Friday night tailgate every week. And I have talked to board members, and they have all agreed with me, all of the board members that I talked to, that we should be promoting a Friday night tailgate or whatever it is at these restaurants that are supporting us. They're supporting our efforts. They're supporting getting rid of the meal tax. They're helping us get rid of the meal tax. They are partners. And I am going to make a request to the board for an official vote if we need to do that. But I want to focus not on just a random Friday night tailgate anymore. I want to focus on the people that matter, on the places that are helping us, and we need to support them. I think that's so important. And that's what my videos are about. Every one of my videos, I'm going to give information about where our money is being wasted, but I'm also going to talk about businesses that are supporting us, that are struggling, that are grateful that we're doing this. Look, I went to this one restaurant down at the oceanfront, and the guy goes, look, we're getting beat up down here so bad. Oh, let me tell you. He said, this city and this restaurant association, we are held under a thumb. And he almost was in tears. And he goes, I just want you to know how much I appreciate you and what you're doing. And I'm going to quietly help collect signatures. So please don't do a video in front of my business, because he was afraid of having them jump down his throat. Wow. And so I wanted you to know that some of these organizations that are out there that want to control the narrative are not really speaking for the businesses that they say they represent. You have a question? Yeah. Oh, this is live. They're hearing it. You think some of these cuckoos for Cocoa Puffs that are against us ain't watching this right now? Hey, kids. How's it going? And I'm not gonna dox the guy. He's asked me not to put his business out there, but he is. But I will. Anybody, off camera, I'll tell you the business, because that's the strong arm that these businesses are struggling with. That's awful. But the good thing about last night, we were everywhere I've been, everywhere. Whether I'm out in front of the pavilion, if I'm at Why Not Wednesday, if I'm walking through a shopping center, if you conduct yourself properly, walking through a shopping center, you're fine. Nobody's going to come. It's private property, but I've always been very well received by the businesses walking through there, telling them what I'm doing. I went into one, and the manager didn't know anything about the tax. I was like, do you actually read the receipts that you hand out to your clients that are in here? And she goes, well, no, I'm the manager. The other people are doing. I was like, okay, well, she's clueless. Well, while I was standing there talking to her, we were by the bar in this restaurant. And it's too funny. Somebody knew my name. And I hear him yell out, hey, Waverly Woods, across the flipping bar. And I was like, okay, who just said my name? Somebody I knew. Went over there. 5 people at the bar signed my petition. From one person, go, what are you up to now? What are you doing? Oh, yeah, I heard about that. I seen your videos. Okay, give me the thing. I'll do it. And 5 people sitting at the bar did it. That's how easy it happens. So at Why Not last night, I swear I'm so bummed I didn't tell you and Pilar last night. So we go to Quirks and we're having dinner, and I forgot to tell. But while we were out there schlepping around, Why Not Wednesday? It's because Why Not Pizza is sponsoring that, right? Well, the tables are kind of like this, round, and they're kind of scooched together. So it's kind of hard to manipulate through all the tables. And it's not like they have 100 tables out there. People are out there in their lawn chairs and that kind of thing. But I'm working the tables, and that's when I saw Holly. And as I'm going through, it's usually like a one path. Like it's one person. You can go this way or that way. And then because it gets tight. So I'm standing, I'm going through to get to the next table, and this guy is coming, and he's got to be at least 6'2", but of course everyone looks 6'2" to me because I'm 5'2". So he was big. He was like, he was thin man, but he was super tall, and you're not going to miss him. He wasn't like, mini me. And so I'm walking through, and as he's coming towards me, he's like coming to me. And I was trying to I'll just go around him or whatever. I don't know who this person is, but I noticed he had a Why Not Pizza shirt on. So I'm thinking, oh, he's part of the team. And, they probably can't do anything. I'm not even going to try and talk to people that are working. And he stopped standing in front of me. So I'm like doing this. I'm like, hey, how's it going? He had this tempest look on his face. And I thought, Lord, I'm going to end up arguing with somebody here. This guy came right up to my face. And he had this extremely stern, tempest look on his face. And I thought, well, here it is. That's always someone looking for an argument. I'm here. And so I just looked up and I smiled and I said, hey, how's it going? I said, you want to help us with this repeal the meal tax? Because I had it taped on the back of my clipboard. And he looked down at me, and I'm telling you, it was like Lord of the Rings with his, I guess I'm so short. And he goes, hell yeah, I do. Give me that. And he sat down at the table and signed the petition. I thought it was for something else. I could have died right there. Because I'm thinking to myself, oh, this guy's going to try and bust my balls about something. And not, want to be a part of it. Like, you shouldn't be in the middle of this. I'm trying to sell pizzas and whatever. And that wasn't the case at all. He was like so mad. So when I'm talking to him, I said, hey, we'd really love to, partner with Why Not Pizza. Which one of them do you work at? He goes, well, all of them. And I went, oh, you work at all of them? He goes, no, I own all of them. And I said, oh, you own them? And he said, yeah. And I said, oh, well, we want to work with you guys. And he goes, no, we're going to talk. He goes, I'm always at the Providence one, so come over there and talk. So he wasn't going to be the other girl, Diana. Just save the petitions. The rest is fine. So I went over there today, and he didn't come in until later tonight, so I just left him a card. So I'm going to try and follow up with that guy. But it was just a cool story, right? Like, I'm thinking this guy, he had this stern look on his face. Like, if you were one of his kids, he was going to beat your tail that night. It was just a very serious stern. And he was focused on business, but he sees me schlepping around with this sign on the back of my clipboard that says, hey, repeal the meal tax, sign here. And he came on, and so I'm trying to walk around him, and he was like, no. And I'm like, oh, God, I hope you're just mad and not going to follow me. Anyway, it was a really cool story. So you guys have been out there getting these petitions. What are some of the stories that you're having? Oh, Mrs. Teresa's out. Let it rip.
So last weekend, my neighborhood got yard sale. Specifically, just kind of got back information last year. So this is one of the first meetings I was able to attend because our meetings on Tuesday nights, and where am I? I'm right at the street at the hospital. So unfortunately, we have our neighborhood's very small. It's only maybe 100 or so houses. We only had 5 houses participate, and most of them were board members. They all signed. Not only did they sign the petition and support, I asked to be put on the agenda for their July Civic League meeting so I could talk about the petition and maybe get more signatures. And now they want me to be back on the board of directors.
Yeah, if you want to get something done, call somebody that's busy. Because those are the people that are the movers and shakers and get stuff done. That's awesome. That's a great story. So now she's gonna be helping her civic league.
Oh.
And what an influence you can make there.
Posting that there is a online petition for this meal tax referendum.
It's not a legal.
Yes, it's more than that.
No, yeah, Martha Davenport is the executive director, I want to say, for the Restaurant Association. And just so everybody knows, any online petition is not real. It has no value and no weight to it. It can do nothing. So if the Restaurant Association has created an online petition, that's concerning because we've asked them to support our effort, which is a valid and real effort. And I haven't seen the petition. I'm not going to say it is or isn't there, but if you see it, it's not real. And to me, it seems like that would be trying to undermine a real petition because they know that an online petition isn't real. It has it can harvest data all day long. But if you think, oh no, I've already signed the petition, I did it online, it's not a legal petition. It has no weight on anything. Okay, so if you want to do a real petition to really get something done, you have to go through the proper legal channels that we have done. So I didn't know that. I hope that's not true because to me, that would be very sad from the Restaurant Association because all that would be is deceiving people thinking they're signing a real petition. So when we come over, they're like, oh no, I signed it online. No, that's not a legal petition. It's not legitimate. No, it's not. It does not hold any weight. So just so you know, and I don't care what the subject is, it could be about, how the toilet paper hangs in the bathroom. And we want to get a petition so that you can only hang your toilet paper a certain way in the bathroom. If it's an online petition, it's not a legally binding, it has no real value. And most of those online petitions are exactly what Buddy said, they're just data harvesting. You're signing up and then people go, well, I'm sick and tired. Every time I sign a petition, I get solicited for this, that, and the third afterwards. I was like, well, that's because you signed something online. These legal petitions cannot be copied. Like we can't keep copies of stuff. We can't solicit people off of the petitions. We can't do that. That is illegal. This is a legal document and we can't save that information for future solicitations. So that's something else. So as you're a candidate running for school board or city council or governor or whatever, you can't keep those documents and solicit these people that signed your petition. That's illegal. So I just want you guys to know that. So it would be very concerning if the Restaurant Association was actually doing that. I hope they're not, but now you all know the facts. And if they're doing these online petitions, especially if it's coming from the Restaurant Association, yeah, please, because it is very deceptive. And I will come out publicly against that. You'll see, pay attention. So here's the other thing. I'm going to be given a lot of information. I want to hear more stories, but these videos that I'm going to be putting out, we are really going through that water park. And we're going to tell you the truth about that. Some highlights to that water park is it's been leased to this water park company from the city, from the Virginia Beach Development Authority. So just know that the city council creates this Virginia Beach Development Authority and they have legal authority. I'm not saying anything they've done is illegal, but they have these development authorities in all the localities so they can negate putting a referendum on the ballot. Okay, that's the only purpose. The city council can make the same decisions as the development authority, but they'd have to ask you first. And guess what? The development authority doesn't need to ask you for your opinion. They don't care. The people that are on the development authority are there to develop. They're there to develop. They're not there to say, I wonder if the citizens like this. They're there representing the developers. They're not there to represent you. And this city council knows it. And for the ones that have been on there for years, they've been allowing it. That's the information that we're going to be putting out this next week. And that water park, PS has a lease given to them by the Virginia Beach Development Authority for $1 a year. They're leasing that land for $1 a year. How about them apples? And you better pay your meal tax. No. Oh, and here's what's even better. The money that they generate off of a meal tax, they can get up to $5 million in grants back. So let's just hypothetically say they come up with $500,000 a year in meal tax from whoever's paying the $150, half an hour to go in there and play in fake water. They're going to go in there, and if they buy food and they generate this meal tax, they actually get that grant money back. Whose grant money? Who's coughing up the grant? Just saying, all of you smile and pay your meal tax. So when this city council is talking about, well, we're not going to balance our budget, because they're making deals like that. They're making deals like that. Think about the Cavalier Hotel. And Diana knows this inside and out better than I do even. But the $20 million that the city gave Bruce Thompson and Company to buy that thing, he's selling it. And they didn't even work a deal to get your share of the money back. This is coming out. So if you're on social media, you need to watch these videos because it's going to be on. I put them on my personal page because I get a lot of traction there. But it's on the Tea Party's page. It's on Virginia Freedom Caucus page. Like and share. Like and share. Teresa likes and shares everything because I see it. So thank you, Teresa Lanchiel. But you shared some stuff too. So what I want you to do is feed the algorithms to these social media pages. Like it, comment on it, and share it. All of you in this room can see every one of those videos. And if you're not friends with me on Facebook, I got room for you. But like it and share it from the Tea Party page. I'm good. Yes, sir. No, we have city projects that need to be paid for. The exact quote from Stacy Cummings was, it will cover city projects. That vaguely. The 6%, yeah, the 6%, not the history of it from 1954. We're talking about last year when they put this one in. That's the one we need to focus on. Because if you go too far back, you get in the weeds and then everybody's like, what? So stick with just this history, not the beginning of time history, because there has been a meal tax. That's fine. It's never been this ridiculous. And we're like the second highest in the country. You have a question, sir?
Yeah. Loan to the script developer and the tax and they will repay the loan tax with the sales tax.
Yeah.
So they need to collect sales tax.
How about them apples?
$5 million.
Pay your meal tax. Oh, by the way, those fruit trays and the vegetable trays that you brought in tonight that were pre-made at the store, you paid 12% on those. You paid 12% on those. You got them cheaper. You got them cheaper, but you still pay tax on it. Yes. The air curtain. We're going to get into the dome because my friend Diana has given me a lot of information on that dome project. Watch the videos. I'm going after the water park first. We're going after the dome. We're going after the, somebody, do you have a dog that smells bums out there? Cause you probably gonna need to check my car out. We're going after the Cavalier. We're going after the Rudy Inlet Park that hasn't even started. Oh, but we're going after the Virginia Beach Development Authority, and I will be doxing them. Not their personal addresses, but I will dox them. That is public information and their connections. Because the Virginia Beach Development Authority, they have been connected to these developers. They are placed on the Virginia Beach Development Authority from City Council. From the developers, that's right. And I've already talked to you guys about their donations. So all the donations that go to a lot of these city council members are all of these developers. So you put the people on city council and none of this, it's all transparent. It's on Facebook. They put it on their website. You've got to dig through 3 pages to get to the goods, but it's transparent. But guess what? The average person is not looking for that stuff. Why? Because they're working their job, they're running their business, they're feeding their kids, taking them to soccer camp, coming home, trying to get a haircut, gotta go grocery shopping, gotta get the laundry done, gotta get up in the morning and do it all over again. Anybody in this room retired? Yeah. You ain't retired yet because you still got that crap. Except if your kids are adults, you don't have to beat them anymore. Yeah, you're not yet. Well, yeah, you might need a haircut. So all of that. So I'm going to tell you, and I want you all to be very clear. You will be helpful by getting these petitions done and getting them in ASAP. We have asked everybody do 25 sheets. If every one of you does 25 sheets, now I've done over 60 sheets so far, and I'm like, oh, yay for Waverly, but I'm willing to work like 3 or 4 people, right? But we need 200 people to do 25 sheets or 100 people to do 50 sheets. Well, no, not 500 sheets. It's 500 signatures, 50 sheets. Yeah. All right. I see my math is good. Yeah, I took my vitamins this morning. So I want to say that, so if you do that, you're moving the ball down the field a lot quicker. We can be done with this before the end of July. Every one of you, this is a crowded room tonight. Hold on, we'll get to that. So first of all, we got to get them to commit. We got to get you to commit to a minimum of 25 seats. Ginny Paceris has beat that number already. Pilar has beat that number already. Yeah, good. Yeah, you got a friend that took 25. But if Elaine Beckety will do that when she's out knocking doors, it's a great talking point. No one that isn't in cahoots with these people have said, yeah, that sucks. I don't want to sign that. I want to pay more taxes. Nobody says that. It's only the people that are in cahoots. And by the way, it's not all the city employees. I had to go into the city and pick up my concealed carry permit because I finally got one because it took me a while to get it because I knew some of these people needed killing and I didn't want to get caught with it. And I say that jokingly, but seriously, some of them, God needs to take them home. Yeah, I know. I have another great story I'll tell you about that too. But I think for any candidate, especially a city council candidate, talking about this, and I'm not saying let's get into the weeds because everybody in this room is a little bit above the education grade there because we've been in the trenches. We know what the Virginia Beach Development Authority is, but we didn't know that city council was circumventing a referendum and negating their responsibility to us by turning projects over to the development authority. That's what they do. They are negating responsibility to all of us and giving it to the development authority where they could care less what you think. And they're appointed by city council. So their buddies are on this development authority to vote for these projects. And that water project, That water park that's a block from the ocean because the ocean isn't good enough anymore to swim in. You gotta have creative, oh, let me tell you this. The water, guess who's paying for the water at the water park? We are. If you, who's got a pool in their backyard? Anybody got a pool? There's plenty of people got pools in their backyard. When you have to fill that pool with whatever water you're gonna fill your pool with, you don't get a break from the city to fill that pool. You gotta pay over $6 a gallon to fill your pool with water. That part down, oh yes, it is, because I have the receipts for it. Oh, but it is, because we FOIA'd that. We FOIA'd that, and I have the receipts. So you're not getting a credit, but that wave park got the credit, and I got the receipts to prove it. Somebody challenged me on that, because I got another friend that does some research and development, and they sent them to me, and I've seen the receipts. That water park is not paying their own water bill. You are. Well, they had to fill it is over 3 million gallons times 6. And they had to drain it and then refill it. What you got, Todd? No. No. Yeah. No. Who's got a question or something? They got a story to tell? Hold on. Let me.
Whether or not you feel comfortable, some people will not make that distinction at the court and will react hostily. Some people just don't want to be sold windows. So, you know, I can tell you in my experience, we usually will knock no soliciting doors when electioneering, when circulating, because that is constitutionally protected right. No trespassing signs on the other hand, listen to it.
Right. So, and let me tell you, so here's a story about no trespassing. So I'm out in Suffolk helping a friend run for city council out there, or not House of Delegates. And I was with his wife and another woman, and we're going to go, and this is out in the country, 2 words, okay, country. And out there, houses are like a mile apart, whatever. And so we pull up to this gate and it says, no trespassing, our dogs bite, this means you, blah, blah, blah. And 2 women were out working in their gardening, you know, their front porch or whatever. And they were like, girl, we can't go in there, we're going to get shot. And I was like, oh yeah, we can. They're like, no, we're going to get shot. I said, the 2 women are right there. They're not going to shoot a random person that's not being aggressive. I'm not getting, I said, stop this truck right now. And I got out of the truck with my literature and walked right up. I said, hey neighbor, how y'all doing? He said, hey, we're good. What's going on? So you need to be careful with don't trespass and, you know, all of that. But 9 times out of 10, the people have been super friendly to me, super friendly. So that said, Teresa, you have a story. Let's hear yours. Yeah, you talk so soft.
Of course, you didn't come to that house at night.
One thing I want to say is, don't be afraid to walk up to people that are not Republicans. Everybody from the Black Lives Matter to the John Birch Society to the most conservative, they are all for this. And I actually walked up at City Council to some liberals, Democrats or whatever, because I know them. And I met Leslie, and I don't know if you're a Democrat or Republican. I never even bothered asking. She was really interested in what we were doing. And everybody there signed the petition without about, they knew about it. They're like, oh yeah, we heard about it, let's sign. And some people that signed, you would not be. In my case, I'm wondering, they worry about taxes, why don't worry about it at a higher level, but okay. But still, don't be afraid to walk up and talk to people. That was at City Council.
Yeah.
I got quite a few sit right before the meeting. It's best to go before the meeting. So,
And I've gotten people that are staunch conservative Republicans. One lady that was our first drive, curbside signing, first Pamela Burnham, sweet little old lady, her little dog in the car. And she said, Waverly, where do I do for the drive up? And I said, sister, I got my clipboard. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to bring it over to you. She was our first drive up. Staunch Republican, staunch conservative, member of the party. Yay, welcome. And then I've gone over to people that are hardcore Democrats. And let me tell you, the woman said, girl, you're doing God's work today. And I went, oh, that's a Democrat that just said that to me. I didn't think you guys believed in God. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess some of them do. I hope it's the same God. But that said, I mean, they've said it. So this is a we the people movement. This is we the people. This isn't left or right. And Gary McCullum, who ran for Senate, total Democrat, hardcore, bona fide, flag carrying Democrat. He's on Facebook and he said, Waverly, this isn't a left or a right thing. It's just a right thing. This is what, and here's what matters. Talk about the census. Everything is out there to divide us. It's one of the first things I said tonight about the people that pretend to be your friends, smile in your face, and stab you in the back because they're here about themselves. They're not here about the cause. And the census divides us because, you know, are you white? Are you black? Are you rich? Are you poor? How much money do we got to shuck out to a neighborhood or a school because of your demographics? That the census, in my opinion, is all about dividing us. So when that comes to me, oh, I fill it out and I say, what's your race? American. Yeah, that'll go on. There you go. I'm a walker kind of girl. I like my Tennessee walkers. They're comfortable to ride. They're tired of being divided. These parties divide us. Yeah. Right. This is where the rubber hits the road. Every single one of you can knock doors in your nose and hit every door. Hit every door. It doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. Now, if you're trying to be a candidate and target specific people that you know will vote for you, well, then you need to be a little more strategic in your door knocking. But this is a subject that has resonated with everybody. And I mean everybody. I've been everywhere. I go up to the high school graduations at the pavilion. And you got to figure half the people there are not registered to vote because there's teenagers. There's graduating. Well, half of them are not, most of them are not registered. I know because I was there. No, God, please thank Jesus, but we're getting there. But so most of those kids were all not registered. Now, when I went to school and I graduated from Green Run High School, they made an announcement and they said, hey, if you're going to be 18 by this date, come to the library. We're going to register you to vote. That's where I got registered to vote, was in the library of Green Run High School. That's right. It was part of it. They don't do that anymore in school. They don't do that anymore in school. So these guys were not registered to vote. And then a third of what was left was, you know, I'm from Chesapeake, I'm from Portsmouth. I even met some people from Canada. They're there to see their loved ones graduate. And so then you had the rest that you're targeting were the people that actually lived in Virginia Beach. And, you know, yes. Oh, you're doing that? Oh, you're doing that? Oh, yeah, I want to sign that. I didn't know that. Yes, well, here's where you can tell other people to go. And you just strike up conversations. And it was amazing. One woman was signing it, and her husband walked up and he goes, what do you do? And she goes, I'm doing what you're getting ready to do. And that's signing the petition. It was like, you've been voluntold, your wife's, she's in charge. I'm going to just say, recommend listening. So, but it was pretty funny. Yes, ma'am. Well, that'll happen. Just keep the ball rolling. That'll happen. Some people are like, oh, I've had to, well, I don't want to sign any more petitions. Well, the ones you've been signing have been that online crap. And you're giving them your information. That's why you're getting solicited. This is a legal document. I cannot make a copy of it. You cannot make a copy of it. Right. And so here's what I want to tell all of you. Is there anybody in here not registered to vote? I didn't say registered to vote Virginia Beach, registered to vote in the United States. Is there anybody not registered to vote? Okay, so all of you are registered. They know you. They know where you are. They know where you live. If you're not like one of the Kilcher families in Alaska, because they don't vote, they are out on their homestead, which we all know where they are now too, because they got a TV show. But if you know, but I'm talking about you're living in the woods under a tree stump and, you're living off the land like Grizzly Adams and all that stuff. They don't know where you are there. But if you're registered to vote and they know where you are. Oh, and here's the other thing. Here's else how they know where you are. Anybody go to the grocery store and they give you those MVP cards, like the Food Line MVP, and then when you go to Harris Teeter, you got to type your phone number in and they give you a discount. Not only do they know who you are, but now they know how you shop. So when you think your phone isn't listening, the phone's listening. And don't you find it ironic that you're on the phone with your friend talking about where to go get your hair done because, I hate my hairdresser, I need to get a new hairdresser. And then all of a sudden in your news feed is all this hairdresser, places to go get your hair done. Yes, ma'am. Jenny. Yeah, so Jenny, you know the song 8675309. Oh yeah, I just had an 80s flashback. Thank you. Yes, Larry. Yeah, the phone is listening. Yeah. Right. Boom. It's listening. And it tracks you. And it's tracking you. That's right. So, yes, sir. Yeah. They're watching you. So all these people, and so you can just tell them, guess what? First of all, we can't make copies of this document. It's a legal binding document. The clerk of the court can make copies of it, but we can't. Second of all, they already know you. They know what magazines are in your house. I'm not talking about gun magazines. I'm talking about Southern Living. Or then there's Dan. And then there's Dan. Just saying, Linda, that's all yours, babe. I don't know. Sometimes, just saying. And then there's Dan. But so I just want you to know that that's what you can tell people. Look, they already know who you are. You're not hiding. You vote, you shop, you play on your cell phone, they can find you. So you can pretend, or you just can try and use that as an excuse because you really don't want to sign it. That's fine. Just keep moving. I don't think this is an appropriate place for you to do that. It's a public venue. I have every right to be here. Oh, you want me to give you another great story? I flipping love this one too. So I thought the Why Not guy was pretty hilarious because I genuinely saw this, Gandalf the Grey coming over to me, the little hobbit, and he was very pensive. I'm telling you, he had a serious look on his face, and I was like, wonder how this is going to go. No, I just smiled and it all worked out. But, so I go up to the pavilion and the high schools are graduating, whatever, and I'm there and look, it's total chaos. I don't know where I was at any given point. I'm working through the crowd, one door to the next and all over the sidewalk. I mean, it was crazy. And I was by myself, so that's fine. In between, so it was, I think Bayside High School graduated first, and then it was Salem High School that graduated like an hour. Like there's an hour recess in between, and then the next wave of school comes in, and so you can catch them coming and going. Well, during that hour recess, where Salem High School had just entered, like Bayside's gone, Salem is now just gone in, and I'm waiting for them to come back out, and I'm gonna see who I missed. This chick named Renee, who was very nice, she said she's part of management of the pavilion, and she wanted to inform me that I didn't have the right to be out there and soliciting, is what she called it, soliciting. She said I didn't have the right to be there. It's against the pavilion's policy. And I said, well, no, this is a public venue on a public sidewalk at a public event. What am I missing here? She goes, well, it's against our policy and we don't allow soliciting. I said, I'm not soliciting. She said, yes, you are. I said, no, this is not soliciting. I'm not selling anything. She goes, well, we don't allow that here. And I said, well, you can't tell me I can't do this. She goes, well, yes, I can. And I said, well, what city code am I violating? I need to know. There's a rule or a law here. She goes, it's just our policy. You're blocking people from going in. I said, what? I said, I'm not even 20 feet near the front door. How am I blocking? I said, you are actually blocking me from exercising my First Amendment. This totally happened. I called Teresa Langio and Buddy. I was like, oh my God, I gotta tell you guys what happened. So this totally happened. And she goes, well, I can have an officer come out and explain it to you. I said, please do. Oh, I don't think these people realize I was raised by Norma Ray. And if you don't know who Norma Ray is, go home and Google that. That was my mother. Okay? Sally Fields doing Norma Ray. My mother was the one at the C&P telephone company holding up a sign going, Union! Oh my gosh. That's who raised me. So I'm standing out there going, please do. Send the policeman out here and please ask him to bring the city code with him that I'm violating. So Sheila, and I shook her hand and I said, look, I'm not trying to be truculent. I'm not trying to argument. I said, I hope you know I'm being very respectful to you. And I had there's a couple right there. The man had signed my petition. The woman is hesitant because she's thinking this woman's right and telling me what I'm doing is wrong. So she didn't. So Renee goes in to find a cop that's going to come out and explain to me that what I'm doing is wrong. First and foremost, no cop ever came out. No one ever came to tell me I was doing anything wrong. But in the interim of that, we love us some Gary Byler. So I called him on his cell phone. It was about 4:30, so it wasn't after work hours. And I put him on speakerphone because I wanted this couple to hear. Because she didn't want to sign my petition because she's thinking the chick Renee was right and I was wrong. So I said, Gary, here's what they're saying. And I let them hear it. He said, well, I'm going to tell you, y'all know, you have to hear it the way Gary says it. All right, let me tell you right now. Okay, they can't do that. The most they can do, they can't arrest you. They can't arrest you for that. The most they can do is give you a ticket. He goes, I guarantee I'll represent you for free. You can get off on that. Don't worry about that. You go ahead and do it. All right, you're fine. All right, talk to me later. Bye. And that's the conversation with Gary Byler. But I let that couple hear that. And I said, well, Gary, I just wanted you to know that she's threatening me and trying to bully me and say the police are going to come out here. And she was very nice about it, but she wanted to know my name. And I was like, please spell it right. It's Waverly, not Ley. I don't know why people want to add an extra E in there. But, and so after I got off the phone with Gary, I said, you want to sign my petition now? She goes, yeah, I'll do it. And he goes, I didn't think she could tell you that. The guy was like, I don't think she could, tell you couldn't be there. I said, I know she can't. She's violating my First Amendment right. And she told me, oh, well, the city budget was here. Were you one of those people that were here during the city budget? And I said, no, I wasn't one of them, but I'm glad that we had people that were there doing it. She goes, well, we told them they couldn't do it either. And I was like, well, you're violating their rights too. You did it anyway. So I want you to know, no matter where you are, it's about how you conduct yourself, because I walked through a shopping center today. Nobody was mad. Who's this crazy person walking around with petitions in the shopping center? You act properly, you respectful. You just go, hey, this is what's going on. I went into Five Guys. They don't have anybody in there that's registered to vote. That guy that's running it wouldn't eat it. That Five Guys, it looked a little shady. But that said, they weren't, it's corporate, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But nobody was like, hey, get this lady out of here. Because I conduct myself in a way on private property. Now, even on public property, you need to not act like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay? You are representing this organization, and my name is all over this referendum. So how you conduct yourself and not running over people with Black Lives Matter signs, just not pointing out anyone in particular, but just want you to know you don't get to run those people over. I'm just looking over here. You have to, and then there's Dan. But so it's how you conduct yourself. So I was out there at Why Not Pizza. Pilar was there, Buddy was there, Holly was there. We acted right. People said we didn't want to sign, which was very few. We just said, okay, thanks. I hope you enjoy paying the taxes, pay my share. And I kept moving. Right? You don't have to, if you are on public property, at a public building, at a public event, they cannot run you off in America. Even if you're holding a Black Lives Matter sign. You cannot be done. That's completely illegal. So know your rights, and know if everybody doesn't have my cell number in this room, make sure you get it from me tonight, because if they try and give you a ticket, we have legal representation. Most of these people know Gary Byler, and they're going to, I'm telling you, that has happened more than once. When I say, oh yeah, Gary Byler's my attorney. All right. Anyway, so, well, lady, if you don't mind, whatever, blah, blah. So we did a video. The board was there. Sharon was there. Jenny Paceris was there. We're all there. And we go to do a video in front of City Hall. And then they send the cop that's you got the cop on patrol at City Hall. They send him out there to find out what we're doing. The guy, oh yeah, come on. I asked him if he wanted to be in the picture. He was super nice. He was a great cop. We had John Moss was there. He walked right over, and I was like, hey, buddy. And he talked right to John first. But, John is like, Gandalf the Grey, too. He's like 6'4". And all of us look like dwarves standing next to him. I even had cute heels on, and I still look like a dwarf. Yeah. Wanted to take the picture. So there's a lot of city employees that think their paycheck might get cut if they cut that tax, because they should know that the developers are coming before them too. Okay? Our city employees are not more valued than the developers that are spending our money. Yes. Oh, they signed our petition. Mm-hmm. Right, don't be somebody's puppet. What cracks me up is everybody that was holding a Black Lives Matter signs were not black. I mean, they weren't even light black, if that's a thing. They were not light colored black. I mean, and I take that from Delegate Spruill in the General Assembly. I got a great story about Delegate Spruill in the General Assembly, and I will never deliver it the way he did, but he had that entire committee in tears laughing over the tanning bill, and who was black enough to not get sunburned and who was light enough not to get sun. Delegate Spruill was a rock star that day, and so the committee room was pretty empty. mean, it's just, blah, 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 nobody really cared. All of a sudden, the laughter coming out of that room was so loud. Everybody in the hallway of the GA, this room is packed now. Because he was acting like Bernie Mac. But all right, let me ask you now, who, if this person is blacker than me, can they get sunburned? I'm telling you, it was just like that. I was dying. The whole room was in tears. This was years ago, and God bless him. He was that's when you can count on Democrats. Because the Republicans were trying to tell parents who could tan and who couldn't tan. Look, I don't care if you like tanning or not. You want anybody telling your kid what you said they could do and not do? It's your kid. And so I bring my mom in there too. And that was a great story. My mom, Norma Ray, that's all I'm saying. And she gets into it with this chick in the pew. Like, I'm at the podium. I got to talk to Delegate Kilgore. He's running the committee. And I'm trying to be professional. And my mom is picking a fight with the liberal in the seat next to her. And I'm going to tell you, it was on. And Kilgore is taking his thing, and he's like, order in here, and he's pointing at me. And I'm like, I'm not making the noise. My mom's fighting with the liberal in the pew. And he's like this, with the gavel. And I just said, look, there's my mom. Like, it's my mom. He was like, I mean, wait, the last person in that room that my mother's going to listen to is me. Good luck shutting her up. Yes, sir. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a great, yeah. So we did this at the last meeting, but I think it's great to do it as often as you feel like, because sometimes it's like drinking from a fire hose. Like, we tell you all kinds of stuff that's going on, and you're like, what? So we got to get 45,000 signatures, right? And we're doing great. Not going to reveal until we get closer to that number. I'm not going to brag. I don't want to jinx us. So keep going and keep going hard. I don't want to leave it. If let's say I said, oh, we've got 25,000 right now. We're good. We're doing great. Then everybody gets slack because they think we got it. So go balls to the wall. Don't stop. Now we get the 45,000 signatures. I get to take them to Tina Sininen. This is straight out of Tina Sininen's mouth. She called me on my cell phone because we were doing a little email thing back and forth. And I'm like, Tina, I just want to make sure I'm getting it right. Blah, blah, blah. She goes, no, you get them. You bring them to my office. They got to verify that all the signatures are real Virginia Beach voters. So we really need 42,000 and some change. But I'm saying we want to get 45,000 because we need to get past that margin of error. Okay, we got to get past the margin of error. So I don't want to turn in less than 45,000. Okay, once we turn them in, they have to go through all of them and do whatever it is they're doing to verify that they're all registered voters in Virginia Beach and that we hit the actual number that we got to get. Once she does that, she turns it over to the Board of Elections and says, yep, the registrar's office here in Virginia Beach, they got their numbers, they got their referendum, it goes on the ballot. The hard work is, verifying all the signatures. And I'm sure they have a formula and they're probably going to really turn the gas up on the formula with us because they don't want this referendum on the ballot. So that's why you can't slack up. Yes. Oh, no, it's on the petition already. What you see on the petitions right now is what's going to be on the ballot. Cannot be changed. Can't move a comma or a period. They have no say in this. They cannot deny this going on the ballot if we have the signatures. Nobody can deny us from putting it on the ballot if they do any shenanigans. And here's another great story, let me tell you. So I am loyal to Gary Byler because I've seen him work. And he's probably the only guy in the room that can really protect you, okay? Legally. Let me say legally. So Gary is second district chair. Without Gary, we got Dennis Furman. Anyway, Gary tells me, he said, Waverly, we're going to get all these delegate pre-files. You're handling it. This is what I want you to do. You got to put them all on a spreadsheet. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to hear it all in Gary's voice. You got to hear it being said really fast. Like, Waverly, what are you going to do? You're going to get these delegate forms. You got to put them on a spreadsheet. Okay, that's it. Go back. Get out of the office. Right? He's totally done that. So we get them. And I turn in 620 at one time. This is this particular year. And Ken Longo was the chair. And so we turn them in. Bruce Meyer is the one verifying the forms. Funny thing about that is Bruce Meyer kicked out 100 of our delegate pre-files, saying they weren't real registered voters. And Gary goes, that's not happening. And he goes, Waverly, you take these, you go down to the registrar's office and you get them reinstated. I scoop up 100 of them, went down to the registrar's office, and I said, can you help me? I got to make sure these people are registered voters. 30 of them were not. She couldn't find them. 70 of them were. 70 delegates got reinstated. I say that because if anybody in that city kicks out so many of our signatures, I know what Gary's going to do. We're going to take them back and we're going to find them and we're going to get them reinstated. And I don't care if it's 1,000, because I know everybody in this room, I'm going to hand you a stack, I'm going to hand you a stack, and we're going into the city and we're going to get our signatures reinstated. So that's how Gary's going to handle this. So that's why it's perfect that he's our attorney, because he's not going to allow our signatures to be just randomly kicked out. Yes, Doug? No, you go down to the registrar's office with everyone that they said was not a valid voter in Virginia Beach. We get them revalidated and the signature is reinstated. We can challenge any of that. And I've seen Gary do it. So if they want to run down that rabbit hole, I'm glad to do it because I know the process now. Yes. Whatever I give them, I've already told. So first of all, great flipping question, because I asked that too. So Tina wanted me to come in every time I get 15 pages. She wanted to bring them into the office, and I'm not doing that. And I don't have to do that. Every 15 pages, I won't get out of that office. I'll be living in there the whole time. So I said, Tina, I'll bring whatever I got. But whatever I got, I want a receipt that you got that many signatures. So if I gave you 15 pages, I gave you 1,000 pages, I gave you 100 pages, whatever it is I'm giving you, if I'm giving you 10,000 pages, you have to give me a receipt that says you got XYZ signatures. We have to agree on that. I didn't say you verified all of them. I'm just saying you got that many signatures. That's what I want verified. She said they would do it. I don't know. I'll have to ask Gary for that, but I would think that's reasonable. But the fact of the matter is, they're going to give me a receipt, however many signatures I give them at any given time, and we get to challenge any of them that they kick out and say are not valid signatures. Well, oh yeah, they have to give it to us. They have to tell us what's not. I mean, you can't hide that stuff, because that's when we get ready to rumble. Oh, wrestling, WWE. Yes. Oh, that number is based off the last election. How many people vote in the last election? You have to have 25% of those people that voted in the last election for any referendum. So don't do it in a presidential election. Don't do it in a No, it's all citywide. It doesn't have to come from a district. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Oh, yeah, they have to. They have to. And here's the thing. I don't think Tina's on our team, but Tina ain't a cheater and a liar. Okay, she has to run that office in a proper way. Well, I'm just saying, if you know the process, they ain't getting away with nothing. And if Tina should remotely act unprofessional with our signatures, that's why you got a Gary Byler. That's all I got to do. I ain't gonna have to say nothing. I'm gonna have to say, look, you want to call Gary or you want me to? Because that's where we're going next. So what other good stories do we have? Who's been out knocking doors or collecting signatures? Who? Share, oh, well, tell her to come in. She should be just right there in the hallway. I hope she's not standing out on that curb. She didn't have to go outside. Trina, where have you been? Jenny Paceras, where have you been? You've been knocking. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, Gus, what you got? Yeah, well, think about it while you're writing a check. That's right. Awesome. Congratulations. Who else has got a good story? I got another really good story too, but I want to hear somebody else who's got a good story. Go get your wife in here. It's not my wife. Well, she didn't have to come and get you. Why? I can't. I divorced two of you. I'm not putting up with this nonsense anymore. Just a second. So my funny story is, my other funny story, because when you're out there and you're doing it this much, you're going to have some crazy stuff happening. So it's election day, April 21st. I'm at a precinct. I'm telling everybody to vote no against that April 21st, gerrymandering, whatever. Okay, I'll write that. But I'm also collecting petitions. I got 33 sheets that day. And I was I had 6 clipboards on the little, I had 2 on the table, 4 in my hand at all given times. So people are coming and going and voting. Hello, we know what election day looks like. This dude comes out. This guy is so damn funny. This is such a cute story. So I'm there and I end up, because I generally talk loud, right? I took chorus in high school. We talk from the diaphragm. If you went to chorus in high school, you know how to talk from the diaphragm. Okay. So yeah, I got one. Mine's probably bigger than that. But anyway, I'm out there and I'm talking to people as they're coming and going. And I've got a little bit of a captive audience. And I've got a couple signing a petition. So while they're doing that, I'm talking to the next couple that's walking by and their kids and all of that stuff. And this guy, he says, hey man, I'm signing this thing. You want to sign it? And he's like telling 3 or 4 people as they're walking in or out to sign the petition. And I was like, dude, I need you here all day. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm telling you, this is great. You should do this. We're all going to get rid of this, meal tax is terrible, whatever. And then he goes, I'm not with her, but I support her. And his wife is standing right there. I fell out laughing. I went, yeah, he's with her. He's with her. And this other dude, this lady who was not thin, this man went, because she said, no, we always eat at home. We never eat out. I don't care about that tax. It doesn't affect us because we don't eat out. And she walks away and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And he looks at me and he goes, there's no way in hell that lady don't eat out. He said it. I died laughing. It was hilarious. There's no way in hell that lady didn't eat out. She's ready to go. Yeah. Right. Well, I said it. I said, so everybody else has to pay the taxes because you don't care. I'm just repeating that. I did not say that about that.
Ask them if they buy Costco chicken.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ordering pizza.
Pizza. Any of that stuff. That's right. The bun, nothing but cakes. Nothing but cakes. They're one of our sponsors for the tea party. She came in the last meeting. If you weren't here, she is donating her bundt cakes to care. Yeah, they're bringing stuff. You're going to see that on Sunday. So there's some funny stories. I'm telling you that if my hand to Jesus, that man said, there's no way in hell that lady's not eating that. I just, oh my God. So there are some great stories out there. Know your constitutional rights. If you are on public property, they can't make you leave. They can't make you cross the street. They can't. They can say whatever they want, but they can't make you leave. True, true. So. That's right. So is there anybody here that's new that doesn't know how to fill out the petitions? Yeah, I didn't think we were going to have too many new people, but everybody knows how to fill out the petitions. So we're doing good there. Is there anybody not willing to get a minimum of 25 sheets? Can everybody raise their hand that's willing to get your 25 sheets? One. That includes husbands. Bobby and Todd, you two have to get 25 sheets. Elaine, can you do it? Okay, just want to make sure because you are running and you want to hit strategic doors. But, and oh, the Pungo Bar and Grill, they got dropped off some stuff. Yeah, so they got it. And Tommy Tillman's already signed. And then the Pungo Barbecue Boys, is that the name? Yeah, Pungo Barbecue Boys, they've got petitions as well. They were all over it. So everybody is willing to get 25 sheets. I'm going to dox you if you don't. Any other great stories or questions about these petitions? Because it's important. Look, I want us to have fun telling these stories, but I tell them to you because I want you to not be afraid or nervous or think twice about where you're going to get these petitions. And we crushed it last night. I think we got 12 or 14 sheets between the four of us last night. Holly gave us 2 today. I know, and then it started raining. So it's you can do that. So please don't, if you haven't signed up to work at one of these events, please do that. And hey, candidates that are running, you can work these venues and tell them, oh, by the way, I'm running for school board or I'm running for city council. You think Barbecue Boys won't have, yeah, I'm not going to let you come out here because you're running for city council. No, Pungo Bar and Grill, that guy loves you. I mean, come on, it's Sean. Oh, so important. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey guys, Jenny Paceris, do not leave until you hear me tell you this. 4th of July, we are meeting at Gary's office. People be there before 12 o'clock noon. Be there. We're going to be there all day. And if you don't get there early, you will not get a parking space. It's 4th of July. Mount Trashmore does great 4th of July fireworks. They kick off at 9 o'clock at night. But Gary Byler has a huge event. Like he's got kids at a bounce machine and free food. They do a band's going to be playing. He's got the reading of the Constitution. It's a huge event. Now, Jimmy, this is why we're doing this. So if we get there before 12 o'clock, we're going to go out in teams. So we're going to have Buddy schlep us around. Thank you, Buddy. And we're going to pack into a vehicle. He's going to drive us off to different points at Mount Trashmore. So Team A will be dropped off over at this spot on Mount Trashmore. And you'll be picked up at that spot on Mount Trashmore. Then Buddy schleps back, gets the next team. And they'll go to point B at Mount Trashmore. And they'll be picked up. And you stay out there for 2 hours. And you hit everybody you can getting signatures. And so from 12 to 2, we'll have a team go out and do that. Then they'll come back at 2, 3 o'clock, we'll send the next team out. Because it'll probably take an hour or whatever, back and forth. And that team will go out and we'll drop them out there too. Because people are coming and going at Mount Trashmore. Is there going to be people from other cities at Mount Trashmore on 4th of July? Yes, because it's really cool 4th of July. But Gary's got a couple of hundred people that come to his place right there. And they come from all over the city, especially out in Elaine's territory. Gary Byler's people come out in droves because they're his family. And there's a couple of hundred people. So we will have people that will work the crowd at Gary's place that are registered voters. And Gary will make his little announcement. Yeah, sign this because it's my clients. And then, so we'll send them out. So then we'll send out a third team, like around 6 o'clock, and they'll go from 6 to 8, and they'll do cleanup and anybody else that's left. So we want to have a good 15 people that we can send out with each team to go do the signatures, and not the same people the whole time. I mean, it's hot, you're gonna get tired. So you come back, you get the free food and drinks and sit in chairs and relax after you've gone out there, and we send the second team out to go get the signatures. And then we send the third team out. So not one person has been out there dogging it for that time. I just said that, darling. Are you listening? Or are you talking up there? She's talking. This happens in the board meetings too. It happens in the board meetings too. I just want you to know. Yes, ma'am. Say that again. Knock it out. But it's private property. They may not like you out there doing that. But I can guarantee you, 4th of July, if you're not at Gary's place and you're not in North Dakota, that ain't the place to be. Oh yeah, we have early voting. We need people at early voting. Yes. The park and ride is public. What? I don't get what you're talking about. What car groups? Oh, you've got to speak English, honey. I don't know what you're talking about. So the hot rod cars go over there too. Let the cops come. That doesn't matter. The cops can be there. You just feel more secure exercising your First Amendment right. Is there any more questions about this? Anybody got any cool stories? Sharon, do you want to give us a cool story about going out collecting signatures? You got anything interesting? I've been telling them all night, sweetie. Hold on, Sharon's talking. I can't hear her. Oh my God.
Okay, so I had these couple of girls come by at Mount Trashmore. Now, it's not that good of a story at Mount Trashmore. And they said, I don't know why we should sign this because we don't win. I'm like, what are you talking about? Trump's doing great. They were Democrats. And they just lost the yes vote.
Yeah. Well, they didn't lose it by the election. That's right. So again, this is a We the People movement. If you need more petition sheets, please see Teresa or myself before you go. I would like to not adjourn, but I want to let our two candidates that are present. If candidates actually show up, I'll let them speak. But we have two people that are actual candidates here tonight. Would you like to give a spiel? Hell yeah, they do. These are good stories. Yeah, all right. Yeah. We stopped that, didn't we?